Thank you, Sonia, for the warm introduction. We are really excited to be here and share the future of Salesforce development with you. We are Team ArchBuddy.AI, and our mission is simple: build smarter, deploy faster. So, we have built an AI powered Salesforce metadata creation system, a platform that allows users to create Salesforce metadata, such as objects, fields, validation rules, Apex classes, triggers, even asynchronous classes as well, all through natural language conversations. No technical expertise required, no metadata API script, just describe what you want, and our AI handles everything from understanding your intent and to deploying it directly into Salesforce. So let's start with simple truth and building and customizing Salesforce to meet unique business needs is quite expensive, costly, and bit slow. We spend weeks just collecting requirements and then more weeks on development. There's high dependency on Salesforce experts. Even a small update can cause delays and extra effort. So let me bring this to life with a quick story and introduce Rishabh. Rishabh is a business analyst at a consulting firm. His job sounds simple: talk to clients, understand their needs, and ensure Salesforce support their business. But here's a real challenge. Every time a client needs something new requirement, Salesforce is not instantly ready. For example, a client says we need to track patients, doctors, appointments, basically a client management app. Sounds simple, right? But for Rishabh, it means a long wait. He has to raise a request with Salesforce admin team, wait for new objects to be created, get fields, relationships, validation rules, etc. to be added. And every Salesforce admin or developer knows the pain of creating fields, objects. Basically, any admin work means endless clicks, long setup screens, and mistakes waiting to happen. This setup easily takes hours, sometimes even days. And while all of this is happening, Rishabh can't even start entering data or showing progress to the client. So what happens? The project slows down, client gets frustrated, and poor Rishabh feels like he is stuck in traffic waiting instead of moving forward. So imagine this. What if Rishabh did not have to wait at all? What if he could simply talk to Salesforce in plain English and have all the objects, fields, relationships, validations, all the logic like Apex classes, triggers created instantly? Amazing, right? So that's where our AI powered metadata creation system comes in. It's just four-step flow: input the need, let the AI generate, quickly review, and deploy instantly. It's like driving a luxury car, Mercedes. Under the hood, there's powerful engine, but for the driver, it's just a smooth ride with a touch of steering wheel. In the perspective of Salesforce, we can say behind the scenes, this is an advanced heavy duty engine managing intricate metadata operations, but on the surface, for the user, it's as simple as having a conversation. So let's move to the key features and capabilities we are providing in ArcBuddy. We are providing AI-driven metadata validation and generation, end-to-end metadata deployment, duplicate detection and optimization, file explorer integration, well-documented readable output. So you will see all of these in the live demo. So the values which are delivering based on this ArcBuddy automate metadata creation and reducing cost. Since metadata gets generated automatically, the dependency on experts decreases, manual efforts drops drastically, and overall project cost goes down. Accelerate time to market because configuration and deployment happen much faster. Organization can deliver Salesforce challenges and enhancement in a fraction of earlier time. Standardized code. So the every component which our ArcBuddy is generating follows Salesforce best practices and naming standards. Improve developer productivity. So now admins and developers no longer have to waste hours on repetitive configuration tasks. Instead, they can focus on complex solution design, innovation, and delivering real business value. So in short, faster builds, lower cost, higher quality, and happier team. So you have heard a lot of story. Now you have also seen the impacts. Now let's experience it live. I'm going to show you something even closer to real client scenarios. So client usually share the document in this document format, not in perfect prompts, right? So here is the document which I'm going to utilizing it. And here the client is Realty Pro Estates. It outlines their complete business process for managing real estate operations inside Salesforce. So it covers multiple modules like property management, where they describe property details like type, location, fields, etc. Even specific configurations like record types, validation rules. Second, client management, which is used for storing customer information. So we will require some fields related to it, and even the page layouts for buyers, sellers, etc. And also the validation rule for proper validating the data. Also, we need property visits and booking management, which defines how property visits should be tracked, including visit status and feedback. So the document also includes the custom settings, custom labels, also the global value sets, which is asked by the client to be created as a metadata in our Salesforce. Now, this is our AI app. I'm going to refresh it first. This is our AI app. Here the plus icon shows to upload a file. Now let's start with uploading this document which I just showed you. Here it shows file is attached. We also have clear check button which I will describe you later. Now, after attaching this file, I'll ask AI to suggest a schema for the requirement. While the system process this document, let me explain what's happening behind the scenes. Right now, our ArchBuddy AI is reading through entire requirement just like a business analyst or solution architect would. It then breaks the text down into structured components and figures out which objects need to be created, what fields belongs where, and how these objects would relate to each other, including the validation rule. The important part here is we are not writing a single line of configuration here. Our AI is constructing the complete metadata blueprint using the raw text from the client. So in a traditional project, the analysis goes takes hours, sometimes even days. But here, the system interprets the document, structures it, and then prepares the entire Salesforce ready schema in under a minute. So once it completes, we will see a fully generated data model that is ready to review, refine, and deploy. So this is the description which is provided for all of the data model. If we see it in better look, then here we have File Explorer button where we have the object section, custom setting, custom label, and global value set, which was requested by the client. So here are the objects, and also we have the fields inside it where we need the validation rule. Then we have validation rule with fully description like API name and object under which it is going to be created with the formula if developer or admin wants to review it. Also the on the field on which this validation will occur. We have all the descriptions like custom setting, fields, custom labels with all the validation messages, so it follows the best practices and coding standard. So we have button deploy to Salesforce. Once we click on this button, we have deployment status section, so we can see here the live deployment. While this deployment takes time, I will just show you the download icon. Here, when we click on this button, we have two options, Excel and JSON. So once we check the Excel and download it, it then download the whole schema into a file, which is an Excel file. Let me show you this Excel file. So here now we have the fully Excel file, which is easy to share with the team. Instead of screenshots, you have whole custom metadata with the different tab, which is easy to review and share it to the team. Also, we have the well-structured file that represent whole configuration end to end. So here the deployment is completed. Now, if we just take a look on the back end, so let's see the booking object, which is created, or see the property visit. So here the property visit is created with the description of intelligence of the AI. We have fields which is created, and also we have here the validation rule with proper error messages and proper coding standards. Now, that was a perfect example of how we converted an unstructured client requirements into a ready to deploy Salesforce blueprint within minutes. That was about client specific requirement, which was given in the document. Now let's see. Here is the clear chat button. So when I click on this button, then all the data will be cleared. Now let's go with the direct prompt based inputs, which we can use in our day-to-day life. Okay, 1 second. Uh, Here I will ask AI to build a clinic management app to manage doctors, patients, appointments, and all clinic operations end to end, analyze what entitles, relationships, and admin configurations are needed across the app. So while the system is generating the full configuration, let me quickly highlight what's happening behind the scene. So right now, our AI is analyzing entire client management requirement, doctors, patients, appointments, all translating them into Salesforce metadata. So as users, we just give a requirement in plain English, but behind the scenes, our AI is working through logic, structure, best practices, naming standard, and everything needed to make the schema ready. So in a moment, you will see a complete Salesforce ready schema created without a single click from our side. So that is where difference between the traditional admin work and conversational configuration. Here it is. Here we can see a basic description which is explained in the file explorer much better. So here we have objects like patient, doctor, appointment. Have you noticed one thing that in the description we just gave doctors, patients, and the appointment object, but our ArchBuddy AI from his own intelligence analyzing the requirement and also mentioning the other objects which can also be related to the client management like payment, invoice, prescription. We also have the validation rules like for the appointment, it we didn't just suggest it automatically described or suggested the validation rule. Appointment date cannot be in the past with all the formula and everything. We have fields with his own intelligence. We did not give a single hint. When we click on it to deploy to Salesforce, like before, we will see all the deployment status. We have download icons so where we can download it easily, right? Now let's see objects has been created according to the progress. Let's see the doctor object if it is created or not. So this object is created with all the field and the description, phone field, lookup, email. We also have the validation rule under the appointment object. So all the fields, you will see status pick list field. So even the values under the pick list value is also understandable and relatable to the requirement. We will see the validation rule here. It is with proper error messages and proper error locations. The validation rule is getting created and everything is deployed now. Now let's come with the other use case. We close this explorer and ask AI that when appointment is created for a patient, the appointment details are automatically sent to the patient's email. What we just told, it sounds simple, right? But in Salesforce, making this happen normally involves multiple steps. You need custom trigger to detect when a new appointment is inserted. You need handler class to detect to manage the logic properly and proper best practices, naming is standard, and all the logic behind that problem. So now, if we see the file explorer, we have the email template trigger. So this logic, this email sending mail would be sent on the after insert. So then AI has automatically analyzed the problem and has generated the solution with the proper best practices that the message or the email would be sent in after insert and the proper handler class to manage the logic inside that. We have proper method with all the best practices, all the queries, and then sending emails. We have email template as well to be created when we deploy it into the Salesforce. everything will get deployed. Let's look under the classes. So right now, there is no class of appointment trigger handler, but it should be created now. Appointment handler test with all the logics. So instead of writing dozens or hundreds of lines of code, we just describe the requirement in plain English as we just saw, and the system writes the ready code for us in just a now, by the time we finish thinking of a name, description, or the logic, our AI has already created the metadata for it. So now the ratio went from client requirement to working Salesforce metadata. No waiting for admins or developers, no endless clicks, no frustration. So what takes user or admin or developer a full afternoon or days is now possible in the time it takes to sip a coffee. Remember all the pain we talked about earlier of Rishabh? So we converted that into the solution, that pain into power. So we saved a 95% reduction in metadata creation time. We have 100% validation before deployment, and also we can handle 100 plus fields in single operation deployment. So now let's move to the our target audience. So this solution is designed for Salesforce developers, administrators, and technical architects across any industry that utilize Salesforce as a CRM platform. Now let's see the tech stack we have used for our ArchBuddy AI. The AI framework is Gemini 2.5 Pro. Backend we are using Node.js, and for the Salesforce platform to detect the intent of the user and to deploy it into the Salesforce. We are using Metadata API, Apex, and the Lightning framework. So before I finish, let me highlight USP or what makes our project truly different. While much innovation happens around analyzing or working with data or on record level, but we have built something that operates at the architectural level, the foundation that everything else builds upon. This is not just an chatbot, it's an intelligent metadata architect that understands business requirements and translates them into Salesforce configuration. So, judges and everyone, let's unlock speed, quality, and cost efficiency together with ArchBuddy.AI. Give us a requirement, and ArchBuddy.AI does the rest. Analyze it, architects it, codes it, and gets it deployed with just a single click. Minutes instead of weeks. That's the future we are bringing. So the work that took days now completes in less time than it takes to heat a meal in the microwave. Thank you. Now we are ready to take your questions now.
Fantastic job. And it definitely solves a gap in the marketplace. Just one question. I mean, I love the fact that I can go like make coffee and vibe codes like an object or an app inside of Salesforce. What about regression testing? Do you have the ability for it to analyze the existing system and make sure it doesn't, put bad code in or overwrite existing functionality?
Yes, it sees the existing functionality. So let's say what the trigger handler we just created, appointment trigger handler, right? So if we give some logic related to that appointment, it detects the appointment trigger handler. If it exists in our system or not, then it overwrites the code. Not overwrite, it just appends that code into a new method in the same class instead of creating the same class again.
And does it provide test scripts that I could put into my automated testing system? Right. So
It
based
does
on
not
this new code that you're putting in, I'm sorry, go ahead.
it does not exactly provide the test scripts, but it is creating the test classes, which obviously developers created before deploying it into the prod. So it helps for testing as well.
Perfect. Great job.
Thank you.
So, very good job, Parul, and I liked your point that it can generate code faster than you can heat food microwave. uh, Probably a quick question. See, I think Agentforce for Vibe is also there, right? And how would this be different? And second aspect I have is that one of the selling proposition that Salesforce has is that it is trained on a clean code, correct?
Mhm.
And then Vibe or any other tool primarily is trained on a lot of code available on internet, right? Which means that the system can also give you results which are
Yeah.
unintended, right? So how are you taking care of that functionality? I mean, and then this part where the recommended tool, primarily the solution, right,
Mhm.
will not break anything existing, primarily if it's a brownfield implementation.
Yeah, that's a good point and good question. So Salesforce also launched the vibe coding, but the disadvantage for it works only inside the VS Code. It requires technical setup and is mainly suited for developers, not like business analyst, which I just showed you. It does not automatically also analyze the metadata, like Angela has put the question. It also does not support the file uploads like we did. It does not generate the complete schema at once. It provides a schema for one component at a time based on users' manual request. But in ArchBuddy AI, our AI has fully web-based and admin friendly with no VS Code needed. It automatically analyzes the metadata, identifies dependency, supports file attachments, and can read the entire requirement and generate the full schema in one go. So that was a
Great.
major advantage and disadvantage which we are providing, but Salesforce has not launched
And
it.
have you used any code base to train the model, Parul, or and then is it specific? Is it tied to a specific LLM, or can this be done on any other LLM as well?
So we are using Gemini 2.5 Pro. Gemini already uses the LLM. We are not specifically or explicitly using it.
Actually,
Okay.
we are our agent is also trained on the Apex developer guide, as well as few short examples which we trained on the Gemini as well, Vertex AI.
And have you looked at Amazon Q or any other LLM as well, which you can expose on top of Vibe?
Yeah, basically we can use any LLM because we have built all the solution in by using a MCP tools, which is a generic tool we can use with the tool on any server as well as on any LLM as well. So it's
Okay.
as a package as a MCP server.
Okay. And have you looked at and is there any plan of using this also to generate the documentations? And a lot of times you have an implementation which is not done right, and the documentations are not there. So can you have you looked at on options of generating technical documentation from an existing code base as well?
Yes, this is in our future pipeline. We can generate the document as well. We can give the prompt like what is the use of this object and where is the dependency of this object. It can also document complete the description why this object is used and in which classes it's used and what's the use of that class and that methods and everything. It will documented. This is in our future release.
In addition
Thank
to
you.
that, we are also adding the sales versioning control. So just we will have the option for Jira or GitHub, and user will link it to the Jira and just give the story number, and all the requirement our AI will fetch and give the solution according to it and just deploy it. So it
Good
will
luck.
make
Thank you.
very easy to developers.
Thank you.
Hi, Parul and team. One question. First of all, it is very interesting to see that we are now having a lot of options to develop code in Salesforce without using developers. Right?
Yes.
By the
In
way, are you
Hero
using
as well.
this? Are you using this in your projects?
Yes, definitely. I'm in Hero
Yeah.
and we would use it in Hero
Okay,
because we
great.
have very tight deadlines there, right?
Yeah. See, the question I had is, I think like even Angela asked, the regression becomes very crucial in such cases. So we can have the code generated by AI, but when the debugging comes, or if we need to change the logic somewhere in the future, then we need to understand this code, right? Completely. Now, is there a way you are differentiating in your code the code that has been generated by AI and the code that has been already written in the past?
Yeah, actually, for now in our file explorer, we don't have that option, but definitely we will take that option to show the differentiate between existing code and the new code, the changes code, and also it explain the completely like what where it exactly changes and on which line and what's the impact of that. So it's completely documented in a UI, and we will add that UI as well to show the differentiate.
Okay.
For now, it's reading the existing data.
Yeah. And just an extension of that question, is there a process to implement observability on your code generation so that I know why this code was generated on what basis?
So we have descriptions while it generates. So all the description it is providing that because of this thing we are using the handler class and the particular logic why it is written. So all the
Okay.
description it is providing.
So we can go back and then read those descriptions.
Yes, definitely. We just close the file explorer and can read the descriptions.
Okay. Thank you.
Just one more. What about discoverability, right? So if I bought your tool, how long would it take to assess my Salesforce instance and be able to start being used? Right. So it has to have some kind of, I would imagine, automated assessment, right? That happens up front. How long does it monitor my system before I could actually put this junior AI Salesforce admin to use?
So we
What
just
is, yeah.
Yeah, we will just need to install the package, and so the developer who is going to use it, it just needs to download the package and it's ready to use.
And then it learns my system along the way. I mean, it seems like there would be some kind of assessment, right?
So we will link that AI into our org, then it will automatically read while analyzing the question. It will read the system, it will read the Apex classes, LWC in the system, and then generate the solution according to it. And deploying it also according to it, that if specific class already exists, then it will deploy the code into the existing class only, instead of creating it newly.